How's everybody doing? I'm doing just fine, doing awesome actually, and welcome back to another episode here on the AfterLife server, where today we're going to be working over here at the base. Yes, we're going to be working over here at the base because we haven't worked over here in just a little bit of time. I've done some base details that I did over there, doing some lampposts, doing some walls, all these little kind of details. But I actually want to build something over here. It's been a little bit since I've actually built something at the base, and I want to get moving on that. So down here, I have this blank spot, and this blank spot has been like this for a long time. And there's kind of an opening right here. And that is actually intentional because I plan to put some sort of house, maybe some sort of building here. I'm not too sure yet, but I'm thinking maybe even a water mill would be pretty cool. Kind of flowing through here with the little river, little creek that we have. Could be a cool look. And it could be nice with this bridge right here to have like some sort of water mill or some sort of house. Just something to kind of fill up this area a little bit. But yeah, I got all the materials collected. So why don't we get to building this little house / water mill. Excuse me. Can you get your big snout in my way? Oh man. Well, hey, we got done the water mill. I forgot what to call it there for a second. It's just a house. Nothing special. It doesn't do anything. It's just something that looks pretty. And I think that's important to remember. Like we think that everything needs a function. And I always fall into this trap of it needs to have a function. And yeah, sure, that makes a build more useful, of course, but sometimes it's nice to have a pretty looking build. And I would say this looks pretty nice. I decided that I wanted to build a water mill that had the most detail that it ever had in its life and the most amount of trapdoors ever. But I am in love with this water mill. I am in love with the wheel on this water mill. I think it looks absolutely fantastic, and I think it turned out really, really nice. And the water mill doesn't have any functional purpose, and boy do I wish it could turn, but unfortunately it cannot. But here's the thing, it doesn't have any functional purpose, especially if we go in on the inside. It's just a house. So my kind of thought process behind this is, you know, it's not an actual functioning water mill. However, I do think that it was at one time, and now it's been converted into a house. For somebody to live in the woods, you know, that kind of deal. Kind of a nice little hunter's cottage kind of deal. Maybe I was thinking also this could be a place to store my books, maybe even like special little valuable things, who knows. But at this moment in time, it is just a house, and that's all it is. And boy, do I love this little cozy fireplace and kitchenette. Absolutely amazing. Lots of spots to store books and all that good stuff. But I did something a little bit different with the chimneys on this one. I actually did a small amount, nowhere near the level of Good Times with Scar detail of glass work, but I did some attempts, right? I tried to do a little bit of glass work just with the smoke here and just trying to make it kind of flow. And it's actually in the same direction as the flags up there, showing where the wind is blowing. And I think it looks really nice. And using the pots as a little bit of extra detail there. I like that. I almost like that a little bit better than just campfires, because campfires, they just go straight up. And it's, you know, it's nice because it's animated, and I'll do that occasionally as well. But sometimes it's nice to have a little variation in your smoke. And I think that turned out really nice. Of course, using our little trick right there that I absolutely love, the frog light, behind a what is that called, a copper grate, a weathered copper grate. Boy, do I love that trick. That trick looks so darn good. And it's just, I just kind of snuck it right in there because we have that throughout all of our builds here. And I think it's important to keep a little bit of consistency when we're building in this area and try to match the theme as close as possible. So I want to talk about this guy for a second. And you might be wondering, Skunk, why do you have a horse near you? Well, I actually given up on my elytras. That's right. Because if you remember in the last episode, and if you don't, I'll explain now, we got bought out. All the shops in the shopping district got bought out, and there's no stock left in the shops. Now, some shops are, being restocked, of course, and it's taken some time for everybody to kind of restock, and they all got bought out by Mr. Puffingfish. And one of those shops was the rocket shop, of course. And you need rockets to fly around with Elytra. So I basically gave up on Elytra then because, well, we have no more rocket supply. And I'm not about to build a farm just yet in gunpowder or in sugarcane to get paper and gunpowder and all that good stuff. So I've turned to these guys, the family of horses. And I'm going to pull out my inner B-dubs here because I absolutely love horses. I think they're really cool, and I've been kind of breeding some up here, and I've been, kind of making a little bit of progress and trying to get the fastest horse. And you can see some of them are named here, some of them are not. I can assure you some of these do have names. I just have to get levels to name them. But yeah, Caramel Macchiato was my first horse on this SMP. Actually, no, that's a lie. Pepper was my first horse, sadly died. Then Caramel Macchiato was my second horse. But with Caramel, you can see Caramel Macchiato, very fast horse, pretty darn fast. And I've been breeding up. I actually got a few other horses here, and they're pretty fast as well. So I've been breeding them up. I've been trying to get an even faster horse, and I think I ended up with this guy right here, which I think is my fastest horse so far. You can see how fast this guy is, right? At least he feels fast. So, with all this horsing around, with all this going on, I need a place to store these guys. These guys have been just sitting out here by my gazebo, and they look pretty as ever. And I absolutely love the leather horse armor on them. It looks so good. But the problem is they're just kind of sitting out here. It just kind of clutters up this area, not too great for the horses. So I decided to make a little area over here. I kind of terraformed in the meantime, kind of terraformed this up just a little bit using our new terraforming technique where we, do a little bit of moss and we do a little bit of tuff and then some stone. Very simple, but effective. And I'm going to have a path that runs up here, and that's going to go to our new horse stables. And there it is, the big horse stables. Ready to go here, ready for all of our horses and all our horsing around needs. I absolutely love how this build turned out. I based it off of our, the style that we have over here at the base with the sniffer barn and the llama pen. sort of working with that green roof and a little bit of tinges of red kind of poked in here with the mud brick base. And I think it turned out really nice. I don't know. You guys will have to let me know what you think. But that is 2 builds down for this episode. Yes, a very productive episode indeed. But I downloaded a mod. Yes, cheaty. But this mod kind of helps us determine what horse is the fastest. Now, I'm not going really for jump here. I know these are all 2-block jumpers, and that's probably enough for me, to be honest. But I kind of want a fast horse. And I was thinking this one was my fast. Moon Hands. 13.44. Nope. Caramel Macchiato is actually faster. One of my fastest horses in the freaking game right now. But then I was just jumping around on these horses, and it turns out this one is my fastest horse right here, and it feels it, doesn't it? This red one, oh, it feels really fast. But I think we can get faster than this. This one's a slowie, so we could probably throw this in the trash. This one not as fast, and then this one even slower. So these are my 3 slowest horses. I do like this one for the color, but this guy, these 2, I'm thinking I'm gonna have to get, well, you know what, we can actually do it right now. We can get some, let's get some golden carrots going and take off the saddles, and we'll do a little bit of this, and let's see what they give. Fast horse, maybe. Oh god, they all look the same. I don't know if I like that. They literally all look the same. This is gonna be so hard to tell them apart. But we'll pop the saddles back on these guys, and then hopefully we'll grow this guy up a little bit. Does it say? Wait, hold on. If I feed it, he's slow. Hold on a minute. You're slow. You're no good. Oh, I can do that. Oh, I could just like click on him with a golden carrot. Oh, that's cool. You can see it popping up. So I bred these 2 together, my 2 fastest, and I got the slowest horse ever. All right, so after my little adventures, I actually went out and looked for horses. Couldn't really find any. I didn't bring any back. I figured it was too much of a hassle. However, I decided to breed up some more horses here, and I actually ended up breeding up these 2, some of my slower end horses. They're still, you know, fairly fast. This is 13.7 and 13.6. So I breeded up these 2, Caramel Macchiato and this one, and I ended up getting my fastest horse yet, which is a 14.2. And you know what? Even though it's not a 14.6, I still feel like that is pretty close. And I feel like that is what I'm going to go for right now. I've also kind of dyed their leather armor to be on this kind of red tone. So my fastest horse is the brightest red, whereas the slowest horse is the darkest red. Even though that's basically like black leather armor now. It's still using like the red dye. I thought that was kind of a cool little like gradient to kind of tell which one is the fastest. And then I kept some horses for nostalgia's sake, even though they're still pretty slow. These ones are the ones that kind of been around for a little bit, so I decided to keep them. They're still pretty fast, but they're not my fastest. All right, so a little while later now, and I have done a little bit more work over here. We're going to toggle cheaty cam. And I've started to do a little bit more of the terraforming that we've kind of been working on, like over here with that moss and tuff and stone kind of texturing. Very simple terraforming, not much at all. I do want to try to blend this a little better. I actually might turn this whole face over here into sort of more of a mossy, kind of tuffy, stony kind of texture. But either way, I think it looks pretty good. I also want to try and blend it out more into the ocean instead of it just being like a very flat wall. I don't really like this terraforming in terms of like it being very flat. So I'd like to change that up as well. So yeah, that's something I did in the meantime, just a little bit off camera work there for you. But now I want to take a break from structural building. I'm kind of getting into the terraforming groove. I'm into the tree kind of building groove. We've been building a lot of buildings today. We built a water mill. We built this lovely horse stables and got our lovely fast horse here. And I can zoom around the base. So we're going to zoom all the way over to this side of the base. And oh my god, the birch. Looking as awful as ever. But over here, it's very open. It's very spacious over here. And I don't like it. I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of this at all. I think we need some trees over here. I think we need to add some growth, add some life, and just add some trees all around the base. You know, more trees, the merrier, as they say. Lovely trees everywhere. Oh man, this feels so good now. You guys might not be able to tell, but I can sure tell. I can tell a big difference since I'm living over here, of course, that having more trees just makes the difference, and it just clears up that sky, right? That big blue sky, it breaks it up and just makes it less blue. Adds more green, right? Yeah, that tree wasn't there. There's a tall tree that kind of adds some height to this area, which is really super nice. There's a tree over there that adds some height as well. These little like treetops kind of poking out. Super nice. This build doesn't feel alone anymore now because we have trees surrounding it. It just feels very enclosed once we're looking at this build now. It feels so nice. And I absolutely love it. We also added in this tree right here, this big oak tree. The same as this one, just rotated a little bit, but now it has the branch coming out on over this way, so it's kind of almost kind of over the path a little bit. I had a few ideas that I wanted to do for this area over here still, even though we did add more trees in. I think I want to add even more trees. It's never ending, guys. The trees don't end. But I'm thinking I want to add maybe some sort of shed in here. I think that'd be pretty cool. Maybe to store our wheat, because then I think that'll make me want to harvest wheat a little bit more if I actually have a place to store it. I've been storing it in, I think, a barrel over here and a chest, but to have a place like our storage shed, like that little building right there over here, I think would be really nice. But we're not going to work on that today. I might work on that either off camera, on a stream, or whatever. But I also added in some more trees over here. Now I've started to actually mix in some of the spruce trees as well, because I realized that we actually don't have any on this side of the base. They're all over, all the spruce trees are all over there on that side of the base across the bridge, which is fine. Maybe it's like a different forest or a different tree type over there, but we actually do have our basalt trees mixed in over there. I figured, well, might as well mix in some of the spruce trees over here. And it's definitely adding some height. It's definitely adding some nice variation that I really like. And I'm going to add some more up there as well. So yeah, some other things that I kind of want to work on over here at the base as well. I want to get a creeper farm installed in here somewhere. I don't know where exactly yet, but this is our redstone cave. And I'm thinking some sort of creeper farm in here. And then also a sugarcane farm as well. That way we can start making our own rockets. I think would be nice to have our own supply. It seems like a lot of people are starting to do that, and we don't have to rely on the rocket shop. Now the rocket shop is stocked again, but I want to force myself to make my own farms and kind of be a little bit self-sufficient, and also add more farms here at the base. I think would be really nice. Also make use of the castle potentially. We could probably put maybe a sugarcane or a creeper farm in that tower right there, because it is, I believe, big enough. So we'll have to see. We'll have to come up with some designs. I'm gonna have to work off camera and getting some things ready. Well, with all the tree building and the horse stables and the water mill, that is gonna do it for today. Lots of building today. We did so much, and it's been absolutely awesome. Hopefully you did enjoy it. Let me know down in the comments below what you thought. I would love to know what you think of everything. And with that said, don't forget to be awesome, and I will see y'all in the next episode.